hear a lot of what you would have shared.
That's okay. I just felt like we were in school and the teacher just dropped out.
And I was with a frozen screen and I was wondering, was it me? And
there were some beepy noises and I couldn't see you. So I just panicked for a second.
I'll just add everybody back and I think we can resume the conversation.
I thought it's finished because it asked me for it said finished and asked me for a feedback. So I was very diligently writing my feedback.
Kuntal would have written in his feedback that I got disconnected midway. Oh, yeah. I'm really sorry for that. I think it's just a technical issue at my end. So, yeah. So, Bhavna, could you just complete what you were saying?
Yeah, I said in panic, I lost track of my train of thought there.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll move on to another question, yes, and then probably you can add more.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Kittu, can I invite you to share with us about your project in Arunachal Pradesh, and how was it to work with artisans, and what kind of product intervention do you think is required, especially in places where we have these government enterprises who are running these emporiums? So how do we intervene there, and what kind of design solutions can be given there? Kittu, you aren't audible.
I'm audible now?
Yes, yes.
Sorry, Harup, I have a network connectivity, so I'll keep my video off. Is that okay?
Right, not a problem.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, Harup, so that was my first project of working with the artisans directly. Before that, I have worked in a craft sector where the hand-dyed shibori technique is used, where the women are involved, the villages around the place is involved. And I think that was a very gratifying experience of mine. So that was a kind of a experience which led me to think about what more can I do as a designer. Because as a designer, we do have a social impact, and till the time we don't, kind of fulfill that, it somewhere feels very unsatisfying. So this project, which I got to work with around 100 women artisans in Arunachal Pradesh. So that's a place called Bomdilla Emporium. So the challenge was to see the textile which they have been weaving and do not interfere with the textile, because they have been doing that for years. So they are very well trained for it. So as a designer, you do not change what they are doing, because in a way they are already designing something which is very true to their heart, which they have been doing for years, and which kind of have a very strong cultural context to what they're doing. So usually what we do in an urban life, you try to do so many things, you try to create such silhouettes which will be kind of very interesting for the clientele and for the people, and you want to keep up with the trends and stuff like that, which you kind of study and you also teach and you also follow it while you are working in a retail industry. But over there, the working was very simple. They wanted to create something which they can stitch themselves, and I think for that we wanted to make a series of products. I don't have a PPT ready, but I could have shown you very simple products like small wallets, clutches, bags, tea coasters, in fact small zero waste tops, which I think kind of enhances their textiles, does not kill it. And I think that's what the idea of a designer is, and especially working with the government sector. It also gave me a vision to also see these women who are so enthusiastic. They really want to learn more. They want to kind of support their family. I think which is quite gratifying in itself. And also there were certain young boys who were painting, because the idea of Thanka painting is also there. So we also developed a series of tops with the Thanka paintings, which is more conceptual and kind of it's related to more storytelling. So I think what we can do from our bit is to be more involved, not for the. So it's a very selfish motive also which I had, because I wanted to see that what more can I do, what I have already been doing. So I think I would like to, of course, be more involved in such projects. And like, I think as a designer, we also need to have empathy in the context of not just designing, but as humans also. And the way our economy is changing, the way we are looking at the broader perspective, I think these things would really be, a kind of it will give a takeaway to the next generation. So I think that was the whole experience of mine while I was there for 10 days.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. And I think with that,
Thanks so much.
I open up the panel for discussion. Anyone from the attendees who would like to ask any questions, if you could raise your hand, I would include you into the discussion forum as well. All right. I think we dropped out and missed out on a lot of attendees because of the technical glitch. But nonetheless, I think it was a very insightful and informative conversation. We do aim to make this convergence of thoughts the stepping stone towards positive change as individuals and as an organization in the domain of social enterprise. With this, we do come to the end of this panel discussion. And thank you so much for your precious time and inputs and ideas that have made the conference a success. Kuntal, you have something to say, is it? Yes, please.
Yeah, I think it's an enormous area to even try to discuss the the overall framework. Forget about the nitty gritty. And thank you for taking up this. I think it's very important for the students. I mean, I see some of them are there. To understand that finally, when you are talking about something like this, you are not talking about the regular framework of design anymore. The aesthetics is different. The aesthetics is different. The economy is different. It's no more about an economy of profit, but also an economy of return. That's satisfaction. So looking at it, I think a sincere request to all the academicians and the students who are here for this particular session. I would suggest that, we haven't questioned design for a very long time. I think we should start doing that. Yeah, thank you, Arun. Thank you.
Yes, Sarah, please go ahead.
Hi. So Kunal sir, as you mentioned that we don't look at design the way we actually should because when we enter students into an academy, we are in the very first place taught that you should be more mindful of the things you see and you should observe as much as you can. And as when you were talking about this whole situation of policemen and how the clothing that they wear is not really something that we think about, and that is something that actually clicked me as well when you said that this is something we should be thinking about, and this is the observation that should come from each and every one of us, which ideally doesn't. And one more thing that Bhavna ma'am told that I was really interested in is when you said Ayurvedic clothing can heal you, can it? So, coming from a millennial generation, this pandemic has made us all very much interested in thrifting somehow. There are these Instagram stores, so many Instagram stores that have started thrifting. But because we come from a design background, we understand that thrifting is something about pre-loved clothes, the things that someone is donating, which are good enough to be worn by new owners. But in India, I think many people have taken, especially the Generation Z and the millennials, have taken it very differently. I mean, they would go to smaller markets, pick up things, and just sell them and name it thrifting, which is so wrong. And I think that is a need of understanding for all the people around us that the things we are doing does not necessarily have to be the understanding that you have. It could be something else, but we are putting it forward as something else. So thrifting started off as something else and now become a very different aspect altogether. So that's
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that as well. Lokesh, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. So I want to just say through my own experience of the project I shared with you is that COVID has also opened up a lot of new opportunities. And usually it has also pushed all of us to think out of the box. Because if you see, fashion has been going on in similar lines in so many decades. Something new only come up when you're shaken. So I think it's very exciting time, and if we if we use that opportunity for a larger good, then it would be a win-win situation for everyone. So there are of course challenges, but I think also the marginalized communities have technology, which is a big empowerment. I think Kitu was talking about Manipur, and some of you were also talking about different areas connecting. So I think these are very exciting time. We should not lose the opportunity. The entire world is coming. Like the events which I do, I get people from across globe for them.
Right.
I completely agree with Lokesh. Also, another thing is that where I'm right now doing one-on-one sessions with the craftspeople, the digitalization or even the technology. Now is the time for them to at least get trained basically because they have that kind of time right now. So online learning is happening, and I think this is something which they would have never been able to learn so fast, and everything is working so well with them right now because of the situation that we are in. That online learning is becoming definitely a new normal.
Bhavna, you had some points to make as well.
No, just to kind of take on from what Kuntal and Lokesh and Sarah said, and everybody, we all have beautiful concepts and thoughts there. We're just putting it across. I think it's that whole concept, as Lokesh said, the pandemic. We're just going deeper into our own roots. It's like the rubber band effect, right? The deeper and the stronger, and the further you pull something, the further you go. It's that ejection thing. So I think it's both ways. It's like that. It's deeper and also linear. So we need to stretch those thoughts, stretch those ideas, and ask questions. Like as Sarah said, do Ayurvedic clothes heal you? And there are our grandparents and our, from each locality we are in, local voices. We all have different nativities, cultures, religions. We start looking backward into our own cultures and theories and start asking unasked questions, and, and kind of unearth buried thoughts and ideologies is something that we probably will find more answers, and combine best of two worlds, which we always thought will probably never meet. And I think that's when we probably will have more answers to the design questions, which we've probably always kind of fought with over the years.
Sure.
Just a thought.
I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that we'll have, I think, 5 more minutes before we wrap up, because it will again auto-disconnect the session. So Darshan, from the attendees, who's a senior faculty at Pearl Academy, has a question. I have added him to the panel. Darshan, could you ask your question?
Hi everyone. All right. So my question is basically for all, but also to Elizabeth and other educators. I don't know if I want to call myself educator because I think education comes from within. Saying that, I want to know if we are pondering on, because we are calling this a social enterprise table. Are we looking into aspects beyond creating products and creating, because I also see that many times we go on creating complex waste because we are using waste and then creating more products. I don't know if they get sold. uh, my experience is no, they don't. Or more or less it goes in the same cycle of creating more products, and it just goes in that particular a vicious cycle. Are we suppose also not supposed to concentrate or educate, so-called educate people, the millennials or the students, or the women from villages and grassroots, about overpopulation. Sorry, I'm a big bandwagon of overpopulation. I think we are too many people on this planet, and everything leads to everything, and everything is connected, and overpopulation is, I think, it's a big problem. Yeah, so anyone, I mean, Elizabeth or anybody who wants to reflect on that. Thank you.
Yeah, so if I'm understanding the question, I just want to frame it back up. Are we in design teaching just outside of, are we reaching outside of just creating newness? Is that sort of the gist of what you were saying?
No, not really. What I meant was, are we
Darshan,
looking?
Darshan, can I please interrupt, because I think there are only 3 minutes to go on my timer. And I would request that this conversation carries on. We have a networking zone on the website's landing page itself. If all of you could join in there, and that's not time space, so we are free to have discussions and carry forward all of these insightful talks there as well. And I would definitely want to thank this panel for taking time out of your busy schedules to share such insightful thoughts and projects and conversations. And we hope to take these thoughts ahead into actionable plans. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you nonetheless.
Thank you. Sorry, Darshan.
No
Thank you,
problem.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.